crashes, but we're doing okay. That's exciting. Although maybe the game itself is down. Wait, oh, there it goes. It's taking forever to load. Cool. Alright, no crashes. This game is really cool. It is fairly high on the voting spreadsheet. I wouldn't be surprised if it wins the greater than 30-hour vote. I guess there's a lot of points out there. So who knows? Could definitely see it happening. This is one of the PS1 great RPGs that I just never played. I think I rented it once, and I've gotten further on it on stream than I ever got on it when I rented it as a kid. Really? Oh good, yeah, I'm glad to hear that I don't have that version then. Yeah, there was one such crash in Legend of Legaia that was a bit of a bummer. I'm glad to hear that it's not really a problem in the PSN version. First try command. No, I think that's very reasonable. I'm very lucky to have it not go down at all today. This weekend, my parents will be gone. I'll get a chance to mess around a bit with the driver and software for my capture card to see if I can fix that issue. No entry. It's a little Englishy. I really like the little icon on the screen that turns yellow and then red to let you know when a random battle is about to occur. It's not quite the same as having control over the random battles, but at least knowing when they're coming is helpful for deciding when you're going to heal and the like. Shauna. Sound crashes even on the PSN version of the game. Interesting. Spinning cane. SMT and Edgerna, so you have that marker as well. Yeah, I like that. It's different than what I'm used to. They used to dart yelling, Volcano! I think this game came out either simultaneously with Final Fantasy VIII, or maybe shortly after it. I'm being impressed at how it looked way, way better than FF7. Shauna for worst. This game also has the joy that is pre-rendered backgrounds, which we don't really see in video games anymore. Every map in the game is a really pretty painting, I feel like. I think we want to go to this one. Yeah? Oh, I guess I can adjust my trajectory. That's cool. Nice. Bastard sword. Alright. Got a new weapon. Got a new weapon, yeah. Armed. What's a bracelet do? Oh, that's just strictly better. I guess I never noticed that I had it. Okay, well, that's cool. It's interesting that it just shows you everything that you could potentially equip, rather than requiring you to check individual spots on there. Double slash and volcano, harpoon and spinning cane. Addition cannot be used. How's Gwen? 6 gun. Yeah, the response to FF7. You see a lot of similar notes. I like it though. I'd like to see more first-party RPGs. Bastard. Oh, blind keeps you from being able to attack at all? That sucks. Oh, guard heals you in this game? That's cool. I didn't know that was a thing. Huh. I need to take advantage of that more. I assume that's what that was. I screwed up my input. Bummer. It's like a 7 but good. No, I think I understand some of the... Not every game is for everyone, right? There are remarkably few games that have universal acclaim, I feel like. FF7 doesn't need to be one of them, I don't think. FF7, if nothing else, it's extremely impressive that Sakaguchi and the team at Square managed to make this game with no prior experience in 3D. Like, they've talked... I went to this really great panel at PAX from Sakaguchi that I won't ever shut up about, where he talked partially about making FF7. I think you can find it on YouTube. There's probably a VOD from when they recorded the panel. But they had no idea what they were doing, and it's a miracle that it even worked at the end of the day. They just kind of had to patch the whole thing together, and by FF9 and FF10, they were pretty good at it. The thing was a giant kludge. What's that about what does what in the beginning? Talking about blind, for instance, Namaku? I don't remember the introduction that guard heals you. Oh, that's interesting to hear, Spiky. I tried to get my wife to play Final Fantasy VII, and she just couldn't get over how bad it looks, how poorly it's aged. Guard mechanic, yeah, maybe take the excuse that it's been like 2 months since I've played it. Stepping stones. Why are we telling Shauna not to slip? She's the one that's not wearing the heavy armor. Total vanishing. What shit is that? I don't think I did, Namaku, now that you mention it. What the shit is total vanishing? List. Let's try that maybe. Destroys minor enemies. Oh, that's kind of cool. I don't know if that means that it's like a repel from Pokemon, or if it's something that you actually use in combat once you get into a battle. Yeah, the localization of 7 was pretty bad, that's true. Lots of little translation issues. Low end of mediocre, wow. That's a darker opinion I was expecting. But no, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I've got friends who really, really like Final Fantasy VIII, and I'm not a big fan of that game. Looking forward to playing it again on Twitch to kind of come at it with a critical eye and see what people think works and doesn't work. I think that 7 is more important than it is good, regardless of how good it is. And it's extremely important. I think that it introducing so many people to JRPGs as a genre, I think it might be that and Super Mario RPG got a lot of people into it. Everyone's entitled to their opinion unless they dislike Final Fantasy X. Yeah, Hirayaki. Yeah, you can tell me Naka, go for it. The usual prohibition on backseating is suspended if you're just talking about the mechanics of a game. Especially if it's a game that I haven't played for a couple months. Rock fireflies. Oh, you know a lot. What's their deal? What do they do? The first disc of 8 is extremely strong. I think I like it a heck of a lot. Yeah, look at that. Man, Dart, you're a huge dick to Shauna. Yeah, well, Mario, I feel like it's difficult to compare FF7 to any like Super Nintendo RPG. It's kind of apples to oranges, because like, especially by the end of the SNES era, we really knew how to make games for that system. So like Chrono Trigger and Mario RPG and Final Fantasy VI are all super polished, really really well executed. They didn't have any other problems they were having to deal with on top of just getting the game to work. But there was so much like riding against FF7 actually working as well as it did that I'm really impressed that. Okay, so that's like it's like a Phoenix Down. I'm surprised that they even got a game out there. I'd be interested to see what FF7 would have looked like if had it been a Super Nintendo game with the same story, you know. Heals you and you're immune to status effects. I like that. That's pretty cool. I feel like that's a challenge that more RPG developers should try to address, and that's how do we make the guard command interesting, because it's so frequently really boring. We played some games now where it's cool. Really good Mother 3. Slows the rate at which hit points go down. Defaulting is interesting and barely default. FF7 is PS1. I'm saying, what if it were Super Nintendo? Wow, I screwed that up pretty bad. His timing is a little bit slower, I think. Oh, it's too bad. I really love Mario RPG. I think it's just a really tight game. It's got a lot of depth to it. Even just like the secrets in the game, I haven't really seen a RPG since then that has made secrets as satisfying as they felt in Mario RPG. Is another exit, maybe? Figure out which is the real exit. Go check the other way here in a sec. I'm sure Propagable is kidding, but Super Nintendo is 16-bit sprite graphics. Hey, thank you for the follow, Someone Stuck. Welcome. How was your Monday/Tuesday treating you? Yeah, I think the Super Nintendo is my favorite console of all time. PS2 might be a close second, just because of the number and quality of the games on it. Oh, that's right, the little icon changes color based on how many hit points they have remaining. That's pretty cool too. You know whether it's worth fighting something. Volcano! Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Lucky for all that. RPGs are pretty egregious in hiding the fun behind a lot of time, a lot of build-up. Clearly not every game is like that, but... Oh yeah, so Super Nintendo... Here's the trajectory of consoles. Atari 2600 was really the first thing, and Atari was going really badly. Like, there was so much shovelware for the Atari, so many just shitty games that they went out of business, and people were like, home video games aren't going to be a thing. If they're going to be a thing, maybe they'll be like on computers, which were really expensive and a lot of people didn't have them. So Nintendo came in and saved the day with the Nintendo Entertainment System, NES in the US. The big thing that they did differently is they had the Nintendo Seal of Quality, where they would require you to get the seal in order to be able to print games. And there's actually remarkably few pirated NES cartridges. I think they're all Christian games, surprisingly, like Noah's Ark, and actually I had all those Christian games growing up. But they were pirated. They didn't have the Nintendo Seal of Quality, paradoxically. Anyway, so the quality of the NES kind of saved video games at home, and Sega arose as the main contender with Nintendo, in the US at least. In Japan, they also had a system called the TurboGrafx 16, which is by Hudson. Hudson's the company that makes Bomberman and other things. Bomberman Adventure Island / Wonder Boy. So in Japan, the TurboGrafx, the Genesis, and the Super Nintendo eventually were in close competition. Sega got pretty far ahead of the game pretty early. Sega has a history of innovating too soon. Like the Sega CD was before its time, the Dreamcast was before its time, probably not well priced for what it offered. So Sega put out the Sega CD, which was the first major home console disc system, I want to say, and actually had some fairly decent games connected into the Genesis. It was kind of cool. After that, you got the PS1. The reason the PS1 was a thing was that Nintendo contracted Sony to make a disc add-on for the SNES. It was going to be like the Nintendo PlayStation. And at the end of all of that, Nintendo backed out of the deal. And Sony was like, well, fuck you. We spent all this time making this thing. We're just going to make our own console with blackjack and hookers. And that's actually why the Final Fantasy series jumped ship from Super Nintendo to PlayStation, because they were already working on it when it was a SNES add-on. Yeah, thank Nintendo for saving home video games. PS1's a thing for a while. They eventually come out with the PS2. At the same time Nintendo's doing Nintendo 64. Which was a PS1 contemporary. I think this... We want to check up top first before we go through that exit. When PS2 comes out, Nintendo has the GameCube, which is their first more poorly received console. The GameCube is really good, it just didn't have a very high volume of quality titles. And to be frank, neither did the N64, but the N64 had Mario 64 and Zelda Ocarina of Time, so those were the killer apps. You pretty much had to have them. So you had the PS2 and the GameCube. Eventually Microsoft decided to get in the game with the original Xbox. Yeah, video game crash. If you're interested in it, I really recommend a movie called Game Over. It's a documentary that's on Netflix. It's about mostly about E.T., one of the games that led to the downfall of Atari. It doesn't talk about Nintendo coming in and rescuing the industry, but it talks about how Atari rose and fall. It's really interesting. Oh, for sure. Yeah. There was a market there, I think. They talk about that quite a bit in this documentary I'm talking about, Game Over, that people didn't think there was going to be a market for home consoles, that people would just want to go to arcades forever. So I wonder if Nintendo didn't exist, if we'd have just had an arcade phase that would have lasted significantly longer. Yeah, E.T. is on several lists of worst game ever. I don't know if it's really warranted. It's bad, but if you watch this documentary, you kind of get a sense of why it is as bad as it is. Interesting. Trap. Yeah, so going on simultaneous with all of this, arcade technology was always way, way ahead of home consoles. It probably wasn't even until, I would say, the Xbox 360 that home consoles started to match arcade games. Arcade games were usually about a generation ahead. And that's not even true anymore, I don't think. Yeah, no, I hear that, Akifal. I think it'd be really cool if someone did a documentary that was just on the evolution of the games industry from, Pong to present. There might be something, I just haven't seen it. Yeah, GameCube had a really cool controller. GameCube was also... I feel like the games for that system felt really clean. If that makes any sense. Yeah, exactly, Propagale was the one guy under budgeted, oversold, and didn't have anywhere near as much time as he needed to put the game out. So it's not really his fault that the game was bad. It was a product of not having enough time to put out a quality product. Crash Course is working on a series about video games. That's cool. I think the E3 debacle was just kind of the nail in the coffin. It wasn't a very good game, but it was a big failure because it was a AAA title. AAA first-party title. It was just garbage. You know, your alternative with or other Atari games that were problems when third parties were just making all kinds of just really shitty titles that didn't deserve to be on the system, that bloated the market. I got really worried about this when the Nintendo Wii came out. There's so much bloatware and shovelware for the Wii. I was really concerned that it was going to be bad for gaming, because it was around that time mobile games started to get really popular. And mobile games are fine. Like, I've played a lot of really high quality mobile games, but I think they have that dilution issue where there's really not an expectation that games will be quality, just that they'll be a distraction. Hey, Knight, how's it going? Good seeing you. Glad you were able to tune in. I'm not sure how to get to that side, or if I even can get to that side. But I'm tempted to backtrack in case that's a cool item. Watch it just be like a Phoenix down or a potion or some shit. I'm also curious if catching this guy again does anything for me. He's just kind of for fun. Maybe you want to chase him all the way around and then use that shortcut to catch him. Oh, that sucks. Totally had him. Good seeing you. As always. Trying not getting stuck on the wall. Maybe this way is easier to chase without getting stuck. Oh, sometimes he goes along the shorter path, doesn't he? He's so cute. Okay, so he leaves behind the item we picked up already. Got it. I think I'm going to backtrack a little bit to see if I can come around the other corner there. This is a cool dungeon, though. And I'm really enjoying that encounter mechanic that I know when I'm about to get into a fight. I feel like more games should do that. Don't really know if there's much value in concealing when the next encounter is going to happen. Maybe in a horror game, I guess. I want it to be a surprise, but I don't think I've ever really been spooked by the random encounter sound. Spinning cane! Oh, you know, I never played Wild Arms 3. The only one I've played is the first one. How does the encounter gauge work in that? Yeah, you see how important the timed attacks are in this one compared to like Super Mario RPG. You get a small damage boost for timed attacks in Mario RPG. In this one, it's like you attack 3 times. You get 3 turns instead of 1 turn if you execute correctly. I think the game is balanced on the assumption that you're executing correctly. Yeah, the game hangs sometimes right before an encounter happens, Spiky. Jump scare enemy encounters, oh god. Oh. That's cool, I like that system, Akifal. There's some risk reward there, then. Good way to do it. Yeah, right? Oh, that's super elegant. That part where going back to earlier areas, I like that a lot. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I think that's something you want to control for. I mean, Earthbound's solution, if you just kill the enemy instantly and you get a bonus to be able to kill them instantly if you are stronger than them, if you get a preemptive strike, is a cool way to do it. I think that having enemies on the map is probably the best possible solution. It just requires the most work to execute, so I see why every game doesn't do it. Random encounters are very easy, which is why I think a lot of games rely on them. Oh, really, Knight? Is that... So sometimes you shouldn't complete a combo, or like... There are some combos that are shorter that do more max damage if you don't necessarily have to execute all of them. Actually, I think I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you should always try to complete whatever combo you have selected, but long combo doesn't always necessarily equal most damage. Yeah, yeah. Keep you from skipping fights when you're low on health. This might be where I wanted to go. Get whatever's in this chest. Yeah, there we go, cool. Oh, interesting. Is there a way to know, Knight, which one is better to use? Just, I guess, to try both of them and see. It'll tell you in the addition menu whether it's more effective yet. Okay, I'll take a look after this fight. I don't know what it is about the delivery and like when he says spitting cane. It sounds like when they say like harpoon cannon. This guy's of Arcadia. It just sounds like it's an arcade declaration. Okay, let me take a look. Addition. Damage percent? Oh. So hold on. If I'm following you correctly, does this mean that every time I use Volcano, this gets better? Is it like gaining XP as I'm using it? Because that's really cool. I didn't know that that was a thing about the addition system. I don't think if I did know that, I didn't remember it. Of the little thing he does when he's getting used to it. Because that's rad. I like stuff that levels up. Oh boy, man. So here I'm just thinking, okay, the addition system's kind of cool, I guess. It's basically timed attacks from Mario RPG, but the fact that it's rewarding you for successfully executing it beyond just doing damage in a single battle, that's pretty rad. So it's leveling up when I execute correctly, right? It doesn't do it just from getting experience from being in a battle. Maybe you get like a point for each X button you press successfully. Yeah, right, Hucky. Is there any reason to level up multiple editions at a time? What happens when you master one? Oh, 1 point per complete combo, so you have to finish it. I see. So it's harder to level up the longer combos then too. That's awesome. Super rad. Big fan of that. Reason to max them all out? Oh man. Dude, that fact alone has made me like 200% more excited for Legends of Dragoon. I've been pretty excited to play this because I like that skill component of executing this correctly, but knowing that there's like a persistent progression system tied to it is super rad. Guys, save from this menu, right? Yeah, that looks right. Cool. Oops. Those points for Legendary Dragoon. This is on the voting spreadsheet with exclamation point game 23. It's doing quite well last I checked. In the greater than 30-hour game category. Oh, I got a poison guard. That's cool. Why would I want the bandana? Guess I can give him the Saleh. We're gonna use him more often. For the poison guard, I think. If you just play through the game and don't run from random encounters, like, and execute your additions pretty regularly, is it possible to master them without grinding, or is it kind of expected that you're gonna run around in circles and fight enemies for a while to max them out? There is something there. Guardian of the cave. There we go. Let's say, Shauna, you're letting Dart walk all over you. Whoa, freaky! I like these fun boss intros. They do that quite a bit in Final Fantasy IX as well. Flashing camera angles. The boss music is pretty sweet too. Is this the first boss in the game? I don't remember fighting one, at least not with this music. Yeah. There's the poison. So I think this is supposed to be a Urobolus. Kind of a localization error.
Spinning cane.
I like that a lot of these healing things are like a percentage of your max HP. Body Purifier dissolves PSA block? Is that dissolves poison? Is that what that means? I'll try using it if someone can confirm. The Warden's the first boss, okay. Right, from the prison where we busted out Shauna. Nice. Ouch. Guarding makes you immune to future application of status effects, but doesn't clear any active status effects, right? Alright, early on that one. Okay, poison, stun, and something else. Action block, right? It must be the blind effect that kept him from attacking before. That's my guess, anyway. Ow. Regular mid-gear Zolan over here. Oh, that sucks. Oh, cool. Man, I like all the little battle effects from this fight. I can't hit him, but Shauna can, right? cool. I don't know if the spear can reach him. Nope. Try stabbing upward next time, dude. Ouch. She's poison immune, fortunately. It gives them a chance to heal up with guard, I suppose. Get him. Yep, you keep attacking Shauna with that. That's fantastic. Big fan. Probably throw some items at him too, now that I think about it. Shauna! There we go. Welcome back, buddy.
Yes. Go. Volcano.
Still blue. Wow, this guy's pretty big. Maybe we'll wait and throw some of these detonate rocks and shit at him once he's back up in the top. I do have attack items, yes. Attack items are actually pretty good in this game. Try to get over my anxiety about ever spending consumables. Ow. Boo earns. Yeah, what's up with the limited inventory? Like, there's just a limited number of spaces. Keep forgetting that thing triggers later than darts. Or you can only move some stuff from your permanent inventory into your combat bag or something like that.
Yes. Go. Volcano.
Oh, yikes. That's scary. Does that include equipment, or is that just consumables?
Spinning cane.
Spinning cane, not so hot. Consumables.
Yes.
You have infinite space for weapons and armor, or it also has a limit that's just separate. Wonder where they went that route. I guess maybe it would make you more likely to spend your items sometimes. You know, you have to consume them in order to get more spaces. Equipment's unlimited. That's right. Detonate rock. Thunder multi. Oh, spark net too. Oh, he's at red health now. Oh right, forgot I could do that. Part of what makes consumable items interesting, I suppose. Go ahead and do the spark net. Whew. Nice. That's really good. Almost twice as much damage as Dart does with the full combo. Oh cool, and there's a custom finishing cutscene. Nice. Very nice. We did it. Now, let's get on our way to Ingal's Castle. Yeah, that's fine. Anything that's just strictly mechanics related, you are welcome to share. Just worried about story. I guess occasionally a mechanic might give away something about the plot. Shauna! Shauna might be better at consumable attack items. What the shit is her deal? She's got angel lasers coming out of her body. Why didn't you do that during the boss fight? It darts like a... make a dart O-face command. Naughty? Naughty this go? We'll address that in a second. Let's give you some XP first. What happened? Oh, face. Now we just got ellipsist. I agree with your focus. I guess it's kind of like the scene where Terra uses magic in Final Fantasy VI, right? You're like, whoa, what's up with that? Increases hit rate for attacking all by 20%. Interesting. Which isn't the same thing as your normal attack, or that must be in addition to its basic stat bonus, right? Something you might want to do with items. Yeah, it seems like random encounter XP is really, really tiny. Is there truth to the fact that bosses level you up, or is it just they give a huge amount of XP? Maybe it's correct if they actually try to give you XP that's dynamic based on your current level to try to level up random encounters and then immediately go fight a boss. So as not to waste the XP. Like in Zelda 2. I think you're just saying that they give a lot of XP though, such that it's usually enough to level you up. We're going to be playing Legend of Dragoon for about another 17 minutes. About when we started. A reminder, and I'll post this in Discord as well. We did beat Shantae in the Pirate's Curse today. So the the vote for the next game that's shorter than 30 hours will finish tonight at midnight Pacific time. So that's about 5 hours from now. If you would like to vote, go to vote.marstead.com and check out the list and games in the shorter than 30 hour category. If you got a lot of points you're sitting on, you can also make a mass vote in the tab titled Mass Vote. I'll count those so long as they're put in the spreadsheet before midnight. And there's currently an auction running to replace whatever game wins. You put a game on the voting spreadsheet so other people can vote for it. Talking about a game that treats magic as a very supernatural effect. It's really common in JRPGs for magic to be a natural phenomenon, just like electricity, right? It's like, oh yeah, there's mages. Okay, people just accept this. There's no superstition around it. I guess Chrono Trigger, the main party members, are really the only ones with access to magic. Monsters use magic, and enemies in the past, like characters in the past, are magicians and wizards. But in the present, the art of magic has been lost. I'm trying to think of other games where magic is treated with superstition, and only some characters have it. Dragon Age has a really critical plot point that magic is... I guess it's a natural phenomenon there, but there's a lot of superstition surrounding it. I think most Japanese RPGs treat magic almost as technology. It's just something that some people can do. Final Fantasy VI, actually, magic died out millennia ago in that game, and part of the focus of the plot is trying to bring it back. It's Sir Levitz. Portraitist girl? Is that a word? Y'all are really gonna stand for this? The girl Shauna just turned into like a magic angel explosion lady. I'm like, you know what we should do? We should go stand for a portrait. I've never been magic before than someone has it. I think the standard JRPG thing is that we used to have it but lost it and then somebody gets it back. I don't think of a game where it's totally brand new. No, but we're looking for the opposite Mega Man. Where it's surprise introduction in the story. I think there's a reason why that's not common, if you think about it. Like, from a storytelling perspective, it's really important that you plant stuff. That you don't have the oh BT dubs moment where just all of a sudden they're like, oh BT dubs, like we can time travel. Oh BT dubs, some people can shoot fire out of their eyeballs. Like, that's irritating to a person consuming a story when it's introduced in the 11th hour, so I think that they're always very careful to foreshadow stuff like magic in movies and books and games by saying that, oh, this used to exist a long time ago. And they'll say the obvious thing of, oh, it used to exist. Clearly it will never exist again. You're like, yeah, okay, fuck you. I'm gonna get magic and almost immediately in this game. I think that's right, Leon. Yeah, Golden Sun. The whole manipulating the Djinns thing. Yeah, I guess also the access to lots of spells. So you'd have to have... Magic wouldn't have to be able to be a discipline. Like, you know, you wouldn't have Fire, Fira, Firaga. Like, it would have to be more like sorcerers in D&D versus wizards. Wizards are like learned spellcasters that study, create spells. Sorcerers are like people who just have magic in their body, and they don't really control what magic they have, what abilities they can use. There's the good spirits. Oh, I see. Okay, I'm way less stressed now. So, oh wait, no, I guess I get it. So there is a 255 item limit for equipment and a 32 item limit for consumables. Gotcha. Probably that thing I just got goes under goods, right? Which is like key items. Please use the Man in Bale. Unknown is magic, yeah. Legend of the Guy is an interesting game because I feel like all of the like backstory events in that game feel like they should be like hundreds or even thousands of years ago, but they're really only like decades in the past. Yeah, it's such a specific decision. I wonder if they were trying to limit you, convince you to use more consumables or something. Is there an item bank by any chance? Because that would be pretty swell. Right, right. I think it's exactly what I was getting at, Propagable, that if magic is the unknown, you have to be really careful with that. Otherwise, you're using it for Deus Ex Machina, you're pulling stuff out of your butt, you're making up the rules as you go, and I think that people feel cheated. Which is weird, because I feel like that sort of story still could be told and be interesting, you know? Like, I'd still like to hear the story of magic being discovered as a new thing and learning the rules as you go, and they're not being pre-established. But I wonder if that kind of story just isn't written because it would be frustrating to read, you know? As an item, oh sure. Gotcha. Just to review what you currently have carried. Yeah. Try to cat cam. I think me sitting up for a second is gonna freak my cats out thinking I'm about to feed them. Hold up. I don't know, you didn't really have that in earlier RPGs for like the Super Nintendo. I think it's gotta be a direct design decision, right? Maybe it's because consumable items are so powerful that they made it a little bit weaker, or made you choose what you're gonna carry, convince you to spend them more, and kind of balance the fact out that they're so strong. Yeah, well, I wonder if it's hard to write at all, Leon. To write well, in a novel or a movie. Yeah. So is it then on the GM to decide what magic can and can't do? Oh, the Japanese version is harder. Interesting. I didn't know that they were still doing that as late as the PS1. The last game I remember that was significantly harder in Japan was Final Fantasy IV. Yeah. You have to have some kind of plant, I think. Stuff that's not planted is, I think, can be frustrating because you're like, you know, even if it's in a movie that doesn't involve something like magic, like if you don't show the rocket launcher on the shelf somewhere, the audience is confused and frustrated when the character suddenly produces a rocket launcher when they need it, as if from Hammer's space behind their back. But if you show the rocket launcher at some point, you don't even have to like reference it, just kind of put it in the shot somewhere. It's not so frustrating. Oh yeah, I knew that was there. I knew that was a tool that the characters had access to. Whatever you say. The music here. That's a pretty cool. I like that, Beyond. Yeah, what problems are interesting when mages can trivially solve most problems? People excited for Metroid Federation Force? Is this the passage from Mice? Is that what he says? Yeah, I think this game is kind of occupying the same category as FF7 is. Before we were taking localization quite so seriously. It's charming. I don't think it's bad. Those kinds of lines are really what made Shenmue shine, right? So, like, is this the passage from Mice? Excuse me. What can you tell me about the Four Voodoo? Do you know anyone who knows the language of Chinese? Can you do quote 140 propagable? I'm willing to bet that it's the don't stick your dick in a penguin's mouth thing. I got Stardust for the first time. Oh man, gear upgrades, exciting. Called it. I know how my wife thinks. She was like really excited to be like, yeah, it's like a baby, it's like a penguin mama, shoot it up. But wait, you should probably stay away from penguin mamas. Yep, sure do. You know it. Yup, sounds good, Peter. Panic Guard, Stun Guard, Bravery Amulet. I like the idea of having one of each of those, but I don't have the money for it, so I'm gonna worry about it. Right, I think it's just specific to that setting, though. What's up, kid? Everybody in this town likes Sir Lavitz. You guys remove status effects, that's cool. I like the different tracks for different buildings. Healing light is somewhat mysterious. Please only. Oh, this map is really pretty looking. We're gonna have to come in there from way in the bottom much later in the game, I'm guessing. And much later in the game, it might mean right now. Yeah, wow, the long search is over. Interesting. It's cool. That's pretty cool, Leon. In this setting, is it expected that there's like, you know, tens or hundreds of mages, like, or you're like planeswalkers in Magic the Gathering, a much rarer sort? Thank you. Stardust brings happiness to the person who collects it. Little dog. Aww. Wait. Dragon! There were once dragons in the world. They are extinct now and we cannot see them. They're totally not coming back. I think it speaks to them in the continent of Endine. Legend says that they once ruled the world. Oh, that's cool. Wingley isn't really the nicest name for something that used to rule the world, though. Oh, I see. Great two watering ticket. We're gonna step outside and save. I think this is a good stopping point. Oh, that sounds cool, Akifall. Yeah. They don't really address that. I feel like Harry Potter doesn't do what I like so much about a lot of Japanese fiction, is that it creates this really exciting space and then fails to explore it all the way. And like really go, what are the realistic consequences for all of these spells that are floating around? They'd be cool to read even just as a thought experiment. I feel like Harry Potter, the mechanics of the universe kind of follow the direction of the story rather than the other way around. The story doesn't write itself based on the world mechanics. Cool. So thank you everybody for hanging out. We're going to see if we can throw somebody a host here. Give you guys a heads up on what's coming up next for the rest of the week.